And welcome back into Open Line. I'm Chuck Long. Glad to be along with you for this hour, one of my favorite hours here at News Channel 5 Plus. It is Ask an Expert, and the expert this evening, one of our very favorites, and I know one of your very favorites, Kevin Kennedy from the Kennedy Law Firm. We're taking those legal questions. Kevin, I tell you, you were talking a little bit, earlier. I know you're helping a lot of people with all of the wisdom and the knowledge that you give them, but a lot of times when they call a legal firm, there's just not the experience there. And I mean, quite frankly, with over 35 years of experience, the team that you guys have, that's why you're able to handle so many different cases in so many different areas. I mean, experience matters, and you guys are proof of it.
Well, the truth of the matter, even for myself, if I were confronted, yes, where do you go? I want someone who has the team, and you can't do it by yourself. You need, and we're constantly trying to get new talent. And if there's good people, we take them. I had one of my other cohorts came and he said, Kevin, our philosophy, when good people come through, you take them and then create a spot. That way the team is strong. And they said, well, why do you have an army of people there? Because there's some days you need the army. And if you really need them, you can't just go get them tomorrow. You have to build them, take care of them, protect them, feed them, and then we're ready in those clinch moments. And it will make a difference. It always has, and it always will, Chuck. So I feel good about sharing those things. And I love to tell when there's people that are just there by themselves, it's overwhelming. They can't be everywhere all the time. And I know in our situation, sometimes a judge calls, we got to go right then. And so we have the people to go do it under multiple circumstances.
Absolutely. And Kevin, I was just looking too at some of the questions that we've gotten in the last few shows. You might be watching out there right now, and you might have some of the same questions. We've had neighbor and family disputes, estate planning, and questions, wrongful death, bicycle or pedestrian accidents, truck and car accidents, employment discrimination, on occasion medical malpractice. We've had personal injury, so many different areas. And again, it's just such a comforting thought that you guys have the knowledge in all of these areas. So saying that, we're going to go back to our phone lines. If you are watching and do have a question, all you have to do is get on the line at 737-7587. Let's head back to the lines right now. Walter is on the line with us. Walter, good evening. We're glad you're watching Open Line. Do you have a question for Kevin?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
I got some property problems. The tree line has been there, I can prove, for over 100 years. And the guy surveyed and come on my side, 75 feet. Does the old tree line stand? How long? Is that a rumor?
Well, the truth of the matter is that tree line is a marker that's been there a long, long time. So I'm going to teach a little lesson. If you buy property, you go get it surveyed. And what we run into all the time, and I bought lots of property, and so I'm teaching what I did for me. If you own property, you're going to have some problems with some neighbors. And if I buy a farm, the first thing I do is survey it and fence it. Now, guess what? I've run into the same thing you did. Everybody knows where the fence line is. Everybody knows where that tree line is. In fact, there may be some old barbed wire. But they'll hire a surveyor, and he will draw the lines because no one has ever put those lines and pins in. Then when you bring your surveyor, he really doesn't want to get into a fight with that surveyor. So the early bird gets the worm. Now, I would stand on that. You certainly have a good legal argument when that tree line has been there forever, and that's been the established, and there are no pins until this man comes and drops. And that's his opinion versus your opinion, and you can get another surveyor to come in, and then what we have is a property line dispute. So you cannot breach the peace, but you can put your fence up. And the mistakes that Kevin Kennedy's made over the years, he knew that, and he didn't move on it. So I'm teaching you, when you get it, survey it and put the fence in. It'll save you grief or your family someday.
All right, great to know, great advice. Move on it. So, Walter, we're glad that you called in, and I know that question helped a lot of folks out there this evening. All right, right back to the lines right now. Let's go to Wesley. Wesley, good evening. You're watching Open Line. We're glad that you are with us. Do you have a question for Kevin?
What is the preliminary steps to open a small claims court case in Davidson County?
Well, the first thing you've got to do is to determine what are the damages and what are the limit of those damages. Meaning, if it's over $30,000, you're going to have to go to circuit court. Now, if it's small claims, that's where they'll say $30,000 and under. And if that's the cause, you file a warrant, a civil warrant with a summons, and you bring the lawsuit. Under the state of Tennessee and the U.S. Constitution, we have to stand on what's known as due process. So you file that with the courthouse, you get the original, get a summons, hire a private processor, or you can allow the sheriff. Why would you ever hire a private process server than a sheriff? Well, the sheriff's a little cheaper, but that guy may go out one time, can't find him, and come back and say, we can't find it. That's the end of it. And when you get a private processor, they're really slick. They might go out there and watch you go in the house, knock on the door, and you won't come out. Well, I can't serve you. So he'll just hang around till you come out and he's got you. So that's the preliminary steps. Find out what cause of action you had. Is it a breach of contract? Is it misrepresentation? You can sue on all those grounds. How much money is it? If it's $10,000, file your warrant, serve them, get a court date, have your witnesses, your receipts, and your documentation, and you go into small claims and you can present your case or defend your case.
All right. Thanks so much, Wesley.
People have a
Appreciate
right
that.
to represent themselves.
Absolutely.
Okay?
It's all about being proactive, as Kevin's been teaching us this evening. All right, let's go back to the lines right now. Larry, you are on open line. What's your question for Kevin? Are you with us, Larry? Let's try one more time. Larry, are you with us? Okay, I tell you what, we're going to try another line. I tell you, right now, we actually are going to take a break. If you do have a question or a comment for Kevin, all you have to do is call that number you see right there on your screen, 737-7587. The advice is absolutely free and well worth it. I tell you what, we'll take a break and we'll continue with Open Line right after this.
As the